So we haven't talked to political analyst Dr. Jason Johnson in a little while. We wanted to get his take after the Trump campaign shakeup.
Jason, thanks for joining us. What do you make of Trump adding Stephen Bannon, who's described as an attack dog, a street fighter, and this late in the campaign?
I'll put it to you like this, Ramona. If at the last minute suddenly Team USA said we need a couple more swimmers to help out Ryan Phelps, Michael Phelps, we would see that as a problem, right? You're this far in the game, you're this far in the Olympics, you shouldn't be adding new people. That's kind of what this indicates about the Trump campaign. It's a good sign that they didn't fire anyone. Paul Manafort is still running things. But the fact that you're just now adding a campaign manager, a position that's been empty for 3 months, that you're just moving up certain communications people with only about 80 days left, it's not a good sign in the campaign. We felt the same way about Hillary Clinton when she shuffled around her campaign after a few heavy losses to Bernie Sanders in the primary.
Jason, presidential nominee, Democratic presidential nominee Clinton in town here today talking about a new tax proposal. Your thoughts? Did you hear any of that?
I'm sorry?
Did you hear any of Democratic nominee Clinton's tax proposal, which she was talking about today when she was in town hearing?
Oh, yes. Actually, she had been talking about that for a while. That wasn't entirely a new rollout. Here's what's interesting. If you actually sit and look at Hillary Clinton's tax plan versus Donald Trump's tax plan, Donald Trump will cut your taxes more, right? I mean, Clinton, she has a very, very detailed plan. It's been on her website for a while when she talked about it today. But the issue is neither of the candidates, neither Donald Trump nor Hillary Clinton, really takes into consideration how their tax plan will manifest itself with our current Congress. And that's always been the weakness when candidates talk about these sort of things. I can talk about all the ways that I can hurry up and get downtown to the Quicken Loans Arena, but I can't predict traffic. And in the same way, they can say all they want. Hillary Clinton can say all she wants about what she'll have in her tax plan, but if there is still a Republican-controlled House, it won't come in the form that she's currently talking about.
And Jason, speaking of the Republicans, they keep saying that they need to expand their base. And I know you know that Trump is trying to court African Americans, but he did it before an all-white crowd, and he has reportedly refused several invitations to speak to groups of color. What kind of outreach move is this, and can it move the needle unless he goes and sits down specifically with African Americans?
Yeah, it's a good question. I wrote a piece last week in The Root called The Republicans Have Hired Their Own Black Suicide Squad, basically like the movie. The RNC has just hired a team of African American consultants and pollsters to come help them with their outreach. But those people are mostly helping with down-ballot races. The Trump campaign continues to have a very weak outreach program for African Americans and almost non-existent outreach program when it comes to Latinos. And unless Donald Trump is willing to talk to the NAACP, talk to the Urban League, do an interview on TV One, speak to Tavis Smiley, unless he connects with some actual outlet that speaks to African American voters, he'll continue to poll at 0%, which is where he is with black voters in Ohio, or 1% as he is in Pennsylvania, and in some places like Nevada and Colorado, he's doing even worse with Latino voters.
Dr. Jason Johnson, always a pleasure to talk politics with you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.